All right. The other day, yesterday, a new video posted by Rev talking about apparently Aster is parting ways from Nijisanji. Now, from the last time, from what I can recollect, was that Aster was actually a very massive creep in the company. Essentially, practically exclusively, would message all of the new female members about collabing, which is not strange, but it's the other things he would also add too as well. Um, about exchanging certain favors and things like that, getting pretty explicit for some of them, making some of the members uncomfortable, which of course was told by Nijisanji multiple times, which they have done nothing. Which I'm gonna guess in this video that the company addresses nothing about all those allegations, even showing actual evidence of him being a goddamn weirdo. But we'll see what happens in this video.
Here. So we're going to be once again talking about Nijisanji because they have another huge controversy facing them at the moment. So for those who are not
When aren't they?
super familiar with the VTubing scene, Nijisanji is a very big agency that has a Japanese branch that is very successful and an English branch that is much smaller, that is always filled with controversy. And a lot of that controversy has to do with the management in the way that they are
Yeah.
very inconsistent with how they apply their rules and how they treat their talents. If you're one of the people on the inside, you're going to be
The interesting part is that there was a girl, there was what is it, a female VTuber that got removed from the group, and the crazy thing is that she got removed because she was saying some pretty crazy shit, to be honest. Like she was, um, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think here's the thing, saying some crazy shit, it's one thing, right? But I think sexually harassing your coworkers essentially, I think that's much worse. But hey, they were much more reactive with what is it, with this girl with her words than this dude actually sending explicit messages.
treated with a lot of favoritism.
Just saying.
If you're on the outside and you're not liked by management, they're going to treat you absolutely terribly. And today's story really highlights all of those issues. So, we're going to be talking about Aster Arcadia. And you can see his account is already private. Not a good
Damn.
sign when you're a Nijisanji Ian liver. Now, Aster has faced a lot of controversy involving really one big accusation. So, about 7 months ago, False ID came out with this video with a whistleblower who we now know is the former Nijisanji Ian liver, Twisty Amanozako, where
Oh
she
yeah.
said that there's allegations that Aster was sexually harassing not
Yep.
just Twisty, but other women in the
Yep.
organization, as well as small independent VTubers outside of the organization. Now, this got enough heat that eventually Nijisanji
Honestly, I don't even remember that part, but yeah, I only know about the harassment of with the members in the company, but not really the indie ones. I forgot about that detail. But yeah, that lets you know how bad it gets. I don't even know how many members it was. I think it was like more than like 4 or 5 or plus. I to be honest with you, I think it was any time there was a new member in the group. Dude, this guy is so desperate for pussy. He's gonna try to leverage his what is it, his favoritism to the company. What is it, to get some. Sad little man.
shortly after would announce they were doing an investigation looking into not only Aster but also the whistleblower. Again, we know who she is now. But of course, a lot of time would pass. In fact, it's been 7 months since that investigation
Yeah.
was launched, and there hasn't been a single update.
Nope.
And well, guys, I regret to inform you, it looks like we're not going to get that first cooking stream from Aster that was scheduled
There's
for
one
next
person
week.
waiting.
In fact, if he's going to be doing a cooking stream, it might be teaching people how to make prison toilet wine at the rate he's going, because he has been
Bro, how do you even still part of the company if you haven't been live for more than 6 months or anything like that? How's that even possible?
terminated. No, wait, I'm sorry. He is separating from Nijisanji. That's right. You can see the announcement here. And if you are familiar with Nijisanji, you will understand that this is the shortest announcement they've ever made
Please refrain from directly contacting our livers about this matter. Oh, they know why.
about a talent leaving their agency. So, it says announcement regarding Astro Arcadia. We hereby inform you that Astro Arcadia will be separating from Nijisanji En as of July 15th, 2025, and will not resume streaming activities. Please refrain from directly contacting our livers about this matter. Thank you for your understanding. So, right from the beginning, we have this weak-kneed, pathetic statement and use of the term separating. Like they're going through a divorce or something, right? You know what? Let's take a second here and use that term separating. I think the right move would have been to hear what
I would have used the word fire because it makes more sense. I mean, hey man, what is it? You're willing to fire Celine Tatsuki over the internet than actually talking and actually sending her, you know, an email saying, "Hey, you're being dismissed from the company," or anything like that, bro. I remember that. That shit was crazy. Think about that shit. Imagine you find out that you're fired through a fucking tweet from the company. They don't even have the balls to send you a message.
people like Twisty were alleging, and then
Oh,
separating Aster from new VTubers, particularly female VTubers who joined the organization. That's what they should have been separating. Also, they probably should have been separating their mouth from Aster Arcadia because I do not understand the favoritism. They went to bat for this guy so hard, and I just don't understand why Nijisanji just will do anything to protect some of their English talents. And I look at Aster's channel, right?
I'm telling you, man. I've said, you know, I never said it on here, but I remember. I think I said this more on my on my live streams. I think it's the reason why he's so protected is because I'm a firm believer that this is someone who is essentially just I would think a relative to the company, you know, who's actually related to someone there in the company, the maybe the director, CEO, or something else. I'm not too sure. Maybe this is in pure speculation, but it's something. It's definitely something to go this deep to essentially die on this hill to protect this weirdo. Yeah, man. It's like with Twitch and Hassan. It's like, dude, it's like you like this person alone is destroying, you know, the company, and yet you're just consistently protecting. It was like, nah, man. There's definitely something going on.
He's been with the company since 2022. He has 300K subs. And you look at his about here, and he's produced 14 million views in 3 years with the company. Now, I say this not to flex or anything
That's
like
not a
that, but if
lot.
I joined some sort of organization, they said, Rev, go, try to get as many views as possible, stream on YouTube, do all that, I could probably amass that in a month or two. So I don't understand. Again, it's not a flex. I just don't understand why Nijisanji is fighting for their lives to protect someone like this with so much baggage. I just don't get it. Their Japanese branch does not deal with anywhere near the amount of controversy the English branch deals with. In fact, the Japanese branch probably makes about
Mm-hmm.
80% of the revenue. So I don't understand why the EN branch is so dysfunctional and there's so much controversy. Now let's go back to the announcement itself. So there's one thing to really point out here that I already mentioned, that it's such a short
Okay, three, two, one, boom.
short announcement regarding someone who's probably one of the most controversial figures to ever come out of their company, right? Just a
Ah.
few sentences. Normally with Nijisanji, every
Mm-hmm.
graduation slash retirement announcement slash termination announcement comes with a long-winded Twitter post with typically a couple pages of documents to go with it.
Is that really
Let's see some
true?
examples. So we have
Oh yeah. Yeah, so is that really true? I mean, I believe it if they really do all that, but yeah.
Selene Tatsuki, who was terminated about a year and a half, 2 years ago. She was
Yeah.
someone who is now returned to her past life account, Dokibird. You probably heard of her. She was someone who went through a very, very rough time with the company. She spent over $200,000 of her own money to fund projects Nijisanji management refused to do. And she was someone who was bullied from within the company to the point of
Hmm.
attempting her own life twice.
I'll be honest with you. I think the reason I mean, I don't remember a whole lot about the reason why the bullying and all that stuff, because it's been a while now. But I'm a firm believer that the reason why that she got bullied is because she was massively popular. Oh yeah, I highly believe so. I think it's because she was absolutely more popular than everybody else. It's probably the reason why she was bullied. And you know what? Even though she went through all that stuff, right? This girl still came out on top. I mean, look how massively successful she is compared to everybody else. You know, from all of her co-mates and all that stuff from this company, bro. They really they fucked up. I'm gonna be honest.
And she would be eventually
Ooh.
terminated around the time of those attempts because what did she do? She released a music video without full approval from Nijisanji because they
Yep.
left her basically on red for an extended period of time and she just got tired and made her music video live. And this was the termination. Remember, she's a victim in this situation, but she was terminated, not separated with,
Mm-hmm.
terminated
Yep.
for this song's release. And
The crazy thing is that for that song, it was a cover, but she had full approval of the person, because you know who made the song? What is it? It was Lily Pichu. What is it? The girlfriend of Michael Reeves. The what is it? One of the members of what were they called? What's their organization again? TTVA or something like that. I don't remember. It's the group with like Pokimane and a bunch of other ones a part of. But yeah, her. And I'm like, and to me, I'm thinking, I think it'd be fine. I mean, even though she just did the cover, I don't think Lily Peachy will go out of her way to go for her or anything. I don't think so, at least. But yeah, she had all the approval and all that stuff. But Nijisanji being Nijisanji, they weren't interested. They weren't interested at all because they are, I don't know, maybe they're a company that just hates moving the needle or anything like that, or branching out to different I don't know. Like I just question what the hell did they do. Like what the fuck is the point being part of this company? And dude, what's crazy is that whenever I see new I remember I saw a few like new announcements and stuff. I'm like, guys, this, I don't know why you would even bother joining an organization that does fucking nothing with its livers. Like they don't even host events or nothing like that. You want to know why Hololive is fun and interesting? Because they put events, they put concerts out, they do these a bunch of other things, and they actually make it interesting. And the people actually practice and do a whole routine for their performance. Bro, I saw that Nijisanji. I saw a clip of that Nijisanji concert, bro. It's literally PNGs, just there's shit going up and down, dude. That shit's horrible. It sucks. What is that shit?
she got not only this
Oh
statement here, she got
man.
pages, 3 pages of statements, which is
Yep.
completely ridiculous when you think about Aster Arcadia getting just a brief paragraph. On top of that, they got so upset about the backlash that they received because of that termination that they brought 3 of their biggest talents on the English branch
Oh yeah,
together
for
to do a
Ilara.
black screen live stream where they basically just threw her under the bus. They made up complete lies about her and even admitted that they had access to her medical records for some reason. And as you can see, didn't go over well. 33,000 likes versus 100 and
Yep. And something, and you know what? Something tells me that that will be, and I don't know what it is, but something tells me that that will be a violation to the what is it, to that what is it, for that protective info, 100%. Because the thing about it is that I believe Doki Bird didn't even live in Japan. I think she operated in Canada still. So technically they'll still have to operate in, like, I think Canada law or something like that, which tells me that I don't know. I mean, I think she could have a case probably of what is a privacy violation of especially with medical records, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not her, so maybe she didn't want to really do anything about it because she just wanted to get over with. Understandable, because dealing with pieces of shit like that, you just want to get it over with.
79,000 dislikes. And the funniest thing is, the cowards at Nijisanji management, they couldn't even release it on their official channel. Instead, they made one of their talents, Alira Pandora, release it
Oh
on her
yeah,
channel, and in the process, she lost nearly 100,000 subs as a result. In fact, she was well over 600,000, and here we are, about 2 years later, and she still is at 523. That was the
damn.
damage done to her account, but I can't feel sorry for her because she was one of the people who threw Doki Bird under the bus.
Here's the thing. You gotta question too, is that was she forced on saying these things? And I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna believe so. Yes, I'm gonna believe that Ilara and probably the others probably is in speculation, of course. I think they were forced to do this, and of course, some people say no, they should have resisted all that stuff, bro. This is the type of company that has you. What is it? They have your balls in a vice. You know, this is that type of company. This isn't just a company that you could just say no and then it'll be that's it. No, these are the people that will absolutely grab your balls and squeeze, and not like in a pleasurable way. You know, they'll squeeze to the point that they explode and shit or burst. That's how they are. That's how they operate. And honestly, I wouldn't. If that person would, I don't know if she's still even part of Nijisanji. I don't have no fucking idea. But if she came out and she made like an alternate character or whatever, and just told everyone, yes, they made me do that, I would be like, I honestly, I would clap my hands and be like, yes, I 100% believe it. I believe it. I really do.
In the statement. And let's move on to another example. Zion Lanza. She has returned to her past life account as well and had great success as Sayu. Now, she was someone who was
Mm.
terminated after 3 months with the company, just 3 months, but she got all of this. This was her termination with a long list, basically treating her like a war criminal. All of these reasons were included for her termination. They did
Jesus
all this for someone who
Christ.
was with the company for 3 months. In fact, there's a very interesting section right here. Offensive remarks regarding discrimination and sexual, or SA. You can't say that phrase on YouTube. They really don't like it. But
Why? 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 How come niggas like us get punished for it, but you got CNN that's like, oh man, look at this fetus explode. It's like, dude, how come they don't get punished? Why? Because they're official? Man, I've been seeing the coverages for a couple years now. They ain't official no more.
offensive remarks regarding discrimination and SA. And in her case, no, this did not involve allegations involving real people or anything like that. It was comments she made about a fictional character that was just assaulted in a video game. And when that happened, they threw the hammer down on her instantly. But Aster,
Damn,
they
really?
just part ways and don't even give a reason as to why. And here's the final
I'll be honest with you, man. I think I would have gotten so many violations because, you know, I've been playing through Stellar Blade. I haven't finished it yet. Um, but I'll be honest with you. If I was playing that, if I was a part of this company, they would have sent me an email of like at least 48 violations that I did just in one session of playing that game. And it's justifiable why.
example I'm going to give. We already mentioned Twisty Amanozako. She was the whistleblower sharing the allegations that include not only alleged sexual harassment she received, but also other people in the company received, and also
They're the
some
ones that
people
got
outside
kicked
of the
out.
company received. She was given a very short termination announcement about a month ago, and they refer to instances of discriminatory speech. That's now two people in
Oh,
this
this
video who had
girl.
this standard used
Oh,
against.
this one. This was this the one that was saying like all the super based remarks and shit. Yeah, this is the one that was saying those crazy ass words. I'll be honest with you. I was hearing some of it. I was like, I mean, pretty based to be honest.
them to terminate them. And this had to
Oh
deal
man,
with
yeah.
a now deleted and re-uploaded leaked call from Discord where she said some edgy, controversial stuff, and they used this as an excuse to fire her because they couldn't fire her for being a whistleblower. This came out, and they said, "Here's our opportunity. Let's fire her," and that's what they did. So another person who was an alleged victim being terminated, not separated from the company, terminated. And a
Yeah.
lot of people looked at the reasons she was terminated as well as Zion, and they go, what about Uki Violetta? Uki Violetta is someone who is also a
Oh,
favorite
this
in the company who gets
dude.
very preferential treatment. And as you can see right here, he has
Oh yeah, this is the dude that was saying like that was saying a bunch of like he would say all kinds of remarks about white people. Yeah, I always thought that was weird too. It's like this nigga is saying some crazy ass things and then he's not getting in trouble. Man.
a long history of saying things like white men, straight white men, are irresponsible and selfish. There was no response for that one, no investigation, no statement, no nothing. In fact, there
Mhm.
is a near 6 minute long compilation of Uki Violetta saying quote unquote jokes about white people. Nothing's ever happened to him. What happened to those that standard of discriminatory statements? What happened to that? It doesn't apply because he's one of the favorites. Now,
Mhm.
going back to the original statement once again,
Have you noticed that have you noticed that all these favorites are specifically men? Like has there been at least one of these that are like the favorites women? Like I'm just saying, I mean, something tells me that the favoritism kind of aims towards the men's side, which is kind of interesting, really, when you think about it.
here's Astor's statement, and you probably wonder why now? Why are they doing this after 7 months of this investigation, 7 months of inactivity on his accounts? Why are they doing this now? Well, the theory out there, the one I agree with greatly, is that Astor Arcadia's contract probably ran out. And they're using this opportunity to say, well, we can't renew with you, so let's just part ways. And they do that to have
Right.
this separation language. They're separating because the contract ran out. There's no actual
Bro, this man waited at least half of it, like more than half of his contract to run out. No, this dude was ultimately silent and definitely let go a long time ago. Where the hell is this dude at now?
uh, foul move on anyone's part that they're citing here. They're just saying the contract ran out and we agree to go separate ways. That way, Nijisanji doesn't have to talk about the investigation or anything else or give a reason. They can just say they separated, they parted ways because the contract ran out and they didn't want to continue, and both parties amicably walked away. That was a very sneaky move and one that I'm pretty confident was the reason that they did this. Now let's take a look at some of the quotes and replies because nobody's having this. Even some of the stronger Nijisanji fans who normally
Mm-hmm.
blindly support the company no matter what, they got an issue. But let's look at some people just roasting this statement. Beginning with Mugen, saying Japanese airlines profits plunge 95% now that their biggest customer has stopped flying out, trying to fly fans to meet him in a hotel room. Yeah, that was kind of his one bullet in the chamber type move. That was it. If you see the conversations and the things alleged, that's pretty much what you do. You approach a smaller talent who claimed they were a fan of his, and you'd be like, "Yeah, you're a big fan of me, huh? Big fan of me, huh? Let me fly out to Japan and we can
I won't lie to you, man. I'll be honest. This is someone who I won't lie, man. Doing that sort of thing, that's a recipe for disaster and for a lot of allegations to come out of. And oh man, that's it. That's not gonna be good for this guy.
share a room together." And it's like, oh, okay. And then when he would get rejected, he would get very angry and start like really getting hostile. Which, by the way, this is pretty much the only time in my life I've unironically used the phrase incel. This is a guy who doesn't really know how to
Mm,
talk to women, and he's trying to exercise, allegedly, his status to get them to do things for him. And when he gets rejected, he flips out. He gets angry. I mean, that's an actual a fair use of the phrase incel. Unlike all the people on Twitter who use it to describe anyone they dislike, this seems like an actually appropriate way to describe the situation.
yeah,
But here's a comment from Parrot. Oh, poor parrots.
dude. What a sad person. Can you imagine using your status to get women? Dude, dude, I won't lie, man. Hooking up with fans is not a good idea. I'll be honest with you, man. I've been on, I haven't been a content creator on YouTube for a long time. I haven't, but I have been of an active viewer on YouTube for a long time, and I'll tell you this much: it practically never ends well. Some people it has, some people it does, but there's always there's gonna be. I've heard too many where where whole kinds of allegations about what is about things about that about how about their fans and such.
Saying they
Yeah.
actually just waited for my video to come out to finish the job. Well, back to the mines, dude. You need to you need to farm once again because they always have the worst timing for you, unfortunately. Here's Rima saying we want the investigation results, saying release the Aster files. Yeah, let's release the Epstein files while we're at it. What a terrible situation. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is kind of the sentiment a lot of people are saying. So if you're going to do this, we want to see what's going on with this investigation. Nobody's going to forget what happened with this. You can't launch this big investigation and then separate with this talent and act like, oh, well, okay, that's over. No, people are going to be asking about this forever. In fact, they're going to be
Hmm.
asking even harder now. There's literally no reason not to share this stuff.
Honestly, yeah. Like, why refuse to share it? Like, what is there something very incriminating? Could it be actually something that he can very much get in trouble for? What's the reason? Why? What is the reason why they refuse to release what is any of this stuff? To me, I firmly believe that it's because they know that this dude is guilty as fuck of whatever it is that he was doing. Um, but yeah, man.
He's not with the company anymore. But anyways, here's another one from Legal Mindset saying terminated him the same day I stopped by the Nijisanji building. Coincidence? He's not joking. Here he is aura farming in front of the Nijisanji headquarters in Japan.
He was
Absolutely
out there.
mogged this company. Man, he shook them and they folded pretty quick. But here's another one saying, I wish I still had my Niji En merch so I could set it on effing fire. Okay, this person has to be blocked. They probably don't want to listen to anything I'm saying, but don't burn merch. I've always said this. If you want to get rid of stuff for someone you don't like anymore or a company you don't like anymore, you should consider donating it because if someone's in need, especially with clothing that comes from a company, they're not going to care if there's some disgraced weirdo on the hoodie, okay? If they're cold, they want a hoodie, right? If some kids, in need, I don't think they care about the plushie, like where it came from, okay? I just think that's something good you can do. Donate it. Don't burn
Yeah,
merch.
I
I don't think
agree.
it's a
I said the same thing too. I said the same thing too before on what is on stream as well. Um, don't destroy your merch. Just either resell them or donate them. Depending what they're if they're clothing and things like that, just donate them and such. Unless they're like I don't know, like statues and things like that. I don't know. I mean, you could sell them for sure. But yeah, man, clothing and things like that. Just put them in what is it? Just donate them. I highly suggest it. It's very silly just to destroy, your money and things like that. It's just not a smart idea.
very smart decision to do. Here's another one saying, so like, can I claim his design now? No. Well, maybe, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. I don't know why you would want to have the likeness of Aster Arcadia. But then
True.
you have this the Niji sisters, I'll say, are trying to stop the community notes. So people in the notes are trying to provide context as to why this is a very fishy and complicated situation. And yeah, you can see in the no note needed section, this is the section of the notes where you dispute proposed notes, where you say that note's not necessary because of X, Y, or Z. And they're fighting for their lives in the no notes needed section, saying everything's abuse of the community notes, and this can't be based on vague or uncertain information. And post does not hide or dispute because people are saying this is trying to hide results of the investigation. But some of the proposed notes, they're trying to add context that there was an investigation, that there was allegations.
So things that are actual, the things that are factual that people are trying to suppress. I'm not surprised that the very people from from the company who wants to suppress information, that their fans want to do the same, that their fans, quote unquote fans, want to do the same. Interesting, isn't it?
From former talents, and it gives additional context as to why this whole separating of these parties is very suspicious. Now, the memes are already coming out. You can see you'll expect this to happen when you ask Nijisanji about their investigation into Aster from now on, where basically they're going to say, are you still talking about Aster Arcadia? Because this is probably what's going to happen. They think they can wash their hands of this, and whether or not something comes of the investigation or not, well, they promised they were going to give updates, and they've given none. Like, not even like, oh, it'll be coming to a close soon, or we got some sort of nothing.
Yeah.
Not a tiny grain of update. And even in the announcement of the separation, they never mentioned the investigation. They could have said, we're separating ways, but also the investigation continues on.
No, they don't want anything to come out of what this dude was doing. And something, yeah, as I said, something tells me that it was definitely some really weird shit, 100%. Because why go in the lengths this much to protect this dude?
Didn't do that because they thought they could get away with this. And I got really bad news for them. I don't think people are going to forget so easily. But anyways, that is the situation involving Aster Arcadia and the allegations against him and his now separation from the company. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yep, there it is. There it is. Honestly, I'm not surprised at all about some of this stuff. I think it's messed up, but to be honest with you, these are the same company that protects, that they're willing to protect these people for some odd reason. And as I said, have you noticed that the ones who are like really degenerate about things like this, or or have these hardcore things against them, have you noticed that the women are immediately let go, but the men are, or what is it? The investigation takes a long time, or they don't investigate at all. I wonder why that is. Why is that? Why is there all these things happening instantly for the women's side, but for the men, it just takes a very, very long time. Interesting, isn't it? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Check out Rev Says Desu. Leave a like, subscribe on this video, on Rev's video as well. Check out Rev. And don't forget to check out the live streams as well. I'm usually live almost every day, I believe, except Fridays. But anyway, all you guys have a good one. Peace.